Our new dog?
You see that?
No, Mrs. Kneifel has dog babies.
I do. I do
Rochelle,
have
that's
dog babies.
such a cute cat.
I'm a dog mom, okay? All right, but the recording started, so we're just going to get started. If someone joins late, well, that stinks. But upon Mia's request, because Mrs. Kneifel's feeling extra nice today, I'm going to read the story to you. Then we're going to go through the questions, make sure you don't have any questions, and we're going to answer number 6 totally together, because I don't really like number 6. But you need to be following along with me. It's called Rachel Carlson's World of Wonder. Imagine you're a scientist studying the sea life along the marine coast. It is early morning and the tide has gone out. A deep pool of cold water trapped by rocks at low tide looks like a good place to study the animals that live on the seashore. You step into the tide pool and feel the water cover most of your legs. Soon you are watching a crab. It slowly dances around the edge of the pool, as if moving to some inner music only it can hear. Perhaps even you discover one of the crab's enemies. You might find sea flowers, anemones, which with stinging tentacles, green sea urchins, or tiny fish like blennies. Blennies? You lose track of time. All you are thinking about is the community of small creatures living in your tide pool. Finally, you start to climb out of the water, but your legs are so cold you can't feel them. This happened one morning in 1951 to the biologist Rachel Carlson. Her excitement and wonder about the mysteries of the sea kept her in the water too long. Luckily, a friend helped her out of the tide pool and found her a warm blanket. Rachel discovers her love of science. See, now we're moving into another new section. As a child, Rachel said she was happiest with birds and creatures as companions. That'd be like friends. She and her mother spent hours outdoor walking and observing plants and animals. When she got to college, Rachel found she especially liked learning about biology or the study of living things. She was also becoming a fine writer. Later, she was one of the first 2 women to be hired as a biologist and a writer for the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Rachel loved the sea. She went to the shore as often as she could to collect and study living samples of sea life. When she finished, she always carried the crabs, starfish, and other creatures back to the safe place where she found them and set them free. Sometimes at night, Rachel used her flashlight to study seashore animals that hide during the day. In her notebook, she wrote down all that she discovered, writing about nature. Rachel wrote many articles about nature. She wanted people to know that birds and fish and all living things need a special area or habitat in which to live. She also wrote books, including her famous book, The Sea Around Us. 2 cats kept her company when she did her writing. Buzzy in particular used to sleep on my writing table, she said, while planning what to write. She sometimes lightly sketched her cat's face over the words on her paper. Rachel warns about pesticides. Rachel Carlson was one of the first scientists to worry about spraying insects and weed with poisonous chemicals such as pesticides. Pesticides can help to produce more and better crops, but Rachel knew that this good must be balanced against the danger pesticides can cause to other living things. For example, spraying certain chemicals in an area can also harm friendly insects, like the bees that can help fertilize fruit trees. Some scientists believe that they could control nature to suit humans. Rachel warned that changing things in nature without knowing the results could be dangerous. We need to think of ourselves as only a part of the vast and incredible universe, she said. Rachel decided she must write about the dangers of pesticides. She carefully checked all her scientific reports. She knew her book would be attacked for its outspoken point of view. Silent Spring was published in 1962. The book started a worldwide conversation about how humans should take care of nature. Soon, scientists were asked to develop ways of controlling particular pests without harming other living things. The U.S. government established the Environmental Protection Agency. Rachel's book affected all people, not just scientists. In 1970, our nation celebrated the first Earth Day as a sign In 1970, our nation celebrated the first Earth Day, a sign of ordinary citizens were beginning to understand and care about the Earth. All right, that is the story. And remember, that is there for you to go back and look at any time. But question number 1, I am just reading these questions to you. Do not feel like you need to answer them as I'm going along. You should be going back. Read the sentence from paragraph 1. Soon, you are watching a crab. It slowly dances around the edge of the tide pool as if moving to an inner music only it can hear. Why does the author most likely include the sentence above? To help the readers imagine the crab's shape, to suggest the crab's home is too small, to help the readers imagine the way the crab moves. Sorry, my phone is ringing. To suggest that the crab is hearing sounds of the water. You are going to answer that question. Do not answer it right now. You need to go back and look later. So that is a figurative language question, which we've talked about many times. Oh my goodness, how long does this phone ring? Okay, it's done now. Sorry. Number 2, this is a multiple word meaning vocabulary question. Her excitement and wonders about the mysteries of the sea kept her in the water too long. Which meaning of the word mysteries is used above? People who are secretive, the customs and ancient beliefs, movies and books dealing with puzzling crimes, or things that can be difficult to understand and explain. You are going to read that sentence again and answer that. Number 3 is your short answer question. How does the section, Rachel discover her love for science, which is right here, fit into the overall structure of the article? So, you're going to think about the article as a whole. What is the article telling us? And then you're going to tell me, how does Rachel discovers her love of science fit into that? Why did the author add it? What does it add to the story? This answer should be a paragraph long. I repeat, paragraph long. You need to be using radar. Respond to the question, answer in your own details, add text evidence, wrap it up, details, details, details. I want to see a paragraph. I want to see capital letters. I want to see punctuation. I don't want bad answers. Okay? Number 4. This is a content area word question, which we talked about lots. When she finished, she always carried the crabs, starfish, and other creatures back to the same place where she found them and set them free. Which word from the passage should the sentence above help the readers understand? Coast, habitat, humans, universe. So if she carried them back to where they're from, which one of those things helps us understand these words? Next is another content area question, and it's about the word pesticides. Rachel Carlson was one of the first scientists to worry about spraying insects and weeds with poisonous chemicals called pesticides. What is the meaning of pesticides as it is used above? Chemicals that destroy living things. Chemicals used to decrease the size of bugs. Chemicals used to change the color of flowers. Chemicals that cause crops to grow very slowly. You're going to answer that question. Number 6, we're going to answer together. Because we learned earlier last week that fur, F-E-R, like fairy, means to carry. But, of course, roots do not always follow every single one of the rules. And, of course, the question they put on this test is one that doesn't follow it. So we're just going to answer it together. In case you didn't know it, I didn't feel like this was the most fair question. But Rachel knew that this good must be balanced against the danger pesticides can cause to other living things. For example, spraying certain chemicals in an area can cause harm, can also harm friendly insects like bees that help fertilize fruit trees. So think of the Latin root fer. What is the meaning of fertilize above? See, this just doesn't really fit the rule of fur. So what does fertilize mean? Bring to bugs, improve print quality, make ready to produce, or make food for creatures. The correct answer here is C. So remember, fertilize means to bring or carry. So in this one, it's like to make ready to produce, all right? So the bees fertilize the trees, which means that they help them get ready to produce. So number 6 is C. I repeat, number 6 is C. Write that down somewhere. No one get number 6 wrong. I just gave you an answer for free. Do not get it wrong. Write it down. Number 6 is C. Or the third one down. And then number 7, which best describes how the passage is organized? First off, think about what we learned about all week. Is it cause and effect? Sequence of events? Problems and solutions? Compare and contrast. Think about what we talked about and how our stories these last 2 weeks have been structured. And then the last 3 ones are on our grammar subject for the week. 7 or 8, 9, and 10. Those ones should be somewhat simple. You are free to go and take that test when you are ready. It should be finished today. If you have a question, now would be the time to ask. Mia?
I didn't get question 4. I didn't really understand that one.
All right, I can go back to that one. So number 4, I'm going to find, where's it at? All right, so Rachel loved the sea. She went to the shore as often as she could to collect and study living samples of sea life. When she finished, she always carried the crabs, starfish, and other creatures back to the same place where she found them and set them free. So, does that sentence describe a coast? Like the plants or the animal's coast? Does it describe the animal's habitat? Does it describe the animal's humans? Or does it describe the crab, whatever, the animal's universe? What does that sentence describe? Coast, habitat, humans, or universe? Okay?
Miss Kneifel,
Nolan.
what's this test on?
On the things we learned this week. We learned about sequence of events. We learned about content area words.
No, I'm
We
saying like
talked
what
about
is it on?
structure.
Like on Ed Your Friend or Think
Yeah,
Central
it's on
or
HMH, where it always is.
well, I went there and it's there.
It should definitely be there. It is called Online Assessment, Natural Disasters Weekly Assessment, Week 1.
Oh, then it was.
Yeah,
Good.
okay. Any other
Yep.
questions, friends?
I have a question.
Yes.
When is this due?
I would like you to get it done by the end of the school day. At the latest, Monday by 8 a.m. Okay? At the latest, it is due by Monday at 8 a.m., but theoretically, I'd like you to get it done today. You are free to leave if you do not have questions and get started. Goodbye. Any
Have a
more
good day.
questions?
Can we reread the story if we want?
Yes, please reread the story. The story is going to help you answer questions. Please reread it.
Okay. Bye.
Use the story to help you.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys. You're free to leave. If you don't have a question, you may get off.